organically, as I was saying. So, first thing, you're going to notice that these two triangles that I've drawn here, let's put in the angles that we know. Where would the 30 angle be in this one on the right? The top or the one on the right? Yeah, it's this one, 30. And this one's 60. So let's have a look at these situations. I haven't given you any sides, have I? No. But I've given you the angles, right? So what do we know about this red side and this orange side in this triangle? They're the same, aren't they? Everyone agree? Why? What is it about them that makes them the same?
Because the angle's the same.
Because these are both 45, so this must be an isosceles triangle, yes? Do you know the length of either of these sides? No, you don't. So what is the only value we can assign to them? X. Everyone agree? Okay. So that would mean this is X and this is X. Now, do we know anything about the hypotenuse now? Yes, the hypotenuse, close, is the square root of what? X squared plus X squared, which is what? X squared plus X squared.
Oh no, 2x squared.
2x squared. Agreed? Yes? Okay. Now what do we know about that symbol? That radical sign is seeking something. What is it seeking? If I gave you the square root of 9, what am I seeking? That is the answer. What am I seeking? Because if I give you the square root of 64, I am no longer seeking 3. What am I seeking when I use that radical sign? The roots. What does that mean, Deepinder? Root 4, root 25, root 36. What am I seeking? Okay, I'll make it easier on you. What is the square root of 441? No, don't go to your calculator. What is the square root of 441? How would you find me that? You would factor it and look for what? Pairs of equal factors. So I will ask again, what does that symbol seek? Pairs of equal factors. Are there any pairs of equal factors under there? What? X. So X would come out, wouldn't it? So I would have X, root 2, X and X. Yes? What is the obvious number that I should use for X right now, since they are all the same? What is the easiest number to make X? 1. And this would be 1 root 2, yes? X equals 1. So now I have this triangle here. What is the sine of 45 according to this triangle? Not 1/2. 1 over root 2. What is the cos of 45? 1 over root 2. What is the tan of 45? 1 over 1. Now, what does this mean? If this triangle extends to be 7x, what will this become?
49x squared.
No.
14x squared.
No. This is 7 times bigger. This is 7 times bigger. So what will this become? 7 root 2. And how often will this work? always. The 45 degree, 90 degree isosceles triangle is always 1 to 1 to root 2. Okay? Everybody with me? All right, now, which side is the smallest in that 45, 90 triangle? The red, the orange, or the side I didn't highlight? What side is smallest? The red and the orange. They're both x, right? Okay, so we made that 1. X equaled 1. Now, come over to this guy. And I think it's time to let our friends in. What's the shortest side on the one on the right? What's the shortest side on the one on the right? Left bottom or hypotenuse?
Left bottom.
Left. So what should we make that? 1. Great. Now, we're in a little bit more trouble here, aren't we? Because we do not know about the other two. Some of us might, but some of us won't. So what do I have in my mathematical toolbox that will allow me to solve any of these other sides when I know the angles? What can I do? I can do some trig, can't I? What trig would I do to solve for the red side? I have two options. What are they? I can do tan 30, because I can do opposite over adjacent, right? So tan 30 equals 1 over x, correct? Oh, I shouldn't use x. We've been using x. 1 over y. So what does that mean y is? Well, this is y. What's the answer for it? How will I solve that? Well, now you're going to need your calculator. Yeah, so what do I do? Pardon? Shift tan. I don't need an angle. I have all my angles. Holy crap, you guys. How do I solve for y? Yeah, I know you know. I'm waiting for one of the other 29 people to tell me how to solve for y when there is one division here. 1 divided by tan 30 equals y. You sure? I'm not trying to be mean, Louis. I'm asking a grade 11 class if you can do algebra to find one letter. I'm just going to wait and see if you guys can figure this very complicated question out. I'm going to have a sip of coffee to calm my nerves. I'm already furious with all them, so you're getting off the hook. Sit down. What does y equal? Great. Now, what can I do to find the orange side, which will be the hypotenuse? You could do Pythagoras. What else could you do? You could use sine because you have 1. What else could you do? You could do cosine because now you know this side. You could do sine of 60. You could do cosine of 60. But the one I want to use to show you where I'm going with this is this side. We know that this is 1.73. This side is the square, this side equals 1 squared, correct? Plus, what was this? Was this really 1.73? No, what was it? 1.7, blah, blah, blah. Your screen filled up, did it not? Okay. So, but what it really was 1 divided by tan 30, correct? So isn't this really 1 divided by tan 30 squared? Great. Do that with your calculator. Some of you may need to, the way today is going. What is 1 squared? 1. Hey, all right. What is that? It is 3. What is 1 plus 3? 4. What is the square root of 4? So if this side is 2, this side is 1, and this side is barfy yucky, but it isn't barfy yucky because we know, what is it? It's not 1.73 blah, 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 blah. What is it? It is the square root of what? 3. Right? Because this gave me 3. So now that gives me this triangle to work with. 1, 2, root 3. Always, no matter how big it gets. So I'm going to come down here, 45, 45, 90. Sine, cos, tan. 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2, and 1. Right? What's this one? What's the cos of all of these? 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2. What's the cos of 90? If you don't know, use your calculator. If you can't figure it out by looking at it, use your calculator. What's the cos of 90? 0. And tan? 1, 1, and undefined. 30, 60, 90. What's the sine of 30? You've got it right here. One half. What's the sine of 60? Root 3 over 2. What's the sine of 90? You already know it from the other side. 1. What's the cos of 30? Root 3 over 2. What's the cos of 60? 1 over 2. What's the cos of 90? You know it from the other side. 0. What's the tan of 30? 1 over root 3. What's the tan of 60? Root 3. What's the tan of 90? Undefined. So now, with these two triangles, there's a whole bunch of trig we can do without using our calculators at all. Because we always know the 1, 1, root 2 and the 1, 2, root 3. Always. No matter how big the triangle gets. Everybody cool? That's why trig works. It doesn't matter how big the triangle gets. The ratios stay the same. Find exact values. What is an exact value?
You don't need to do the decimal stuff.
No decimals. Now, I've been marking your cumulatives. A great many of you do not seem to know what those words mean. I don't know why. I've been very, very vocal about it, so I'm being very, very vocal again. Exact values means no decimals at all, not one. So what does it mean? So what does it mean your answer should look like?
Root, plus or minus root over by 2.
Fractions with roots in them. This is how to do it. Is there anything there that you do not know? There is one thing there that is new, right there. What are the two special triangles? 45, 45, 90, and 30, 60, 90. Right? Now, just to remind you, on the 45, 45, 90, 1, 1, root 2. 30, 60, 90, 30, 60. The shortest side is this. So what number is it? 1. The longest side is the hypotenuse. So what's it? 2. The middle side is between 1 and 2, root 3. Right? So now, without a calculator, you should be able to do all of these, shouldn't you? The first one I will work with you because it's the easiest one. Sine of 45, there's 45. As soon as you have 45, you draw the triangle. You automatically know this is what? 1. You already know this is what? 1. You already know this is what? Root 2. What's the sine of 45? Right? Go. I will draw the triangles for you on this one. You guys do the values. You've drawn them twice. You've seen it. It's right there. All you have to do is turn the triangle. If you feel you're good with B, C, and D, you have the answers correct, you are welcome to move on to E, F, G, H, which are right below them. If you are feeling a little unconfident because it is first block of the morning and your brains have not turned on yet, you are welcome to wait a second until I do these. I am adding the next layer of assistance for you. Smart move. Well done. What is B? No. No. Cos of 60. 1 over 2. What's C? -1 over root 3, exactly like all the trig we've been doing all the way along. It dropped by 1. What's the cos of 225? -1 over root 2. Obviously, I need to do these, so... Where is sine of 240? Anybody. Where is the terminal arm going to be? Third quadrant. How far is this? 60. Right? So that means no matter how I draw it, even if I didn't draw it correctly, what does that automatically make this? 30. What does that automatically make this? No, not the angle, this side. Minus 1, because it's across from 30. What does that automatically make 60? Minus root 3. What does that automatically make the hypotenuse? 2. What is the sine of 240? Sine, Rena. Root 3 over 2. Where is 210? Third quadrant. What does that automatically make that? 30. What does that automatically make this? 60. What does that automatically make this? Negative 1. What does that make this? This side. Look before you talk, Ayaka. Negative root 3. What does that automatically make this? 2. What is the cos of 210? Negative root 3 over 2. Where is 150? Yes.
I don't understand how you get these values like
Which values?
-1, 2, and -3.
Did you know what we were doing when we did this? That's all we did. Do you understand that a 30, 60, 90 triangle has to be this? Okay, well, then we better have another talk about that. Do you understand that this is the shortest side? Because it's across from the shortest angle. This has to be the shortest side. So we said that the shortest side was going to be 1, right? We can make it x if you'd rather. You want to make it x? All right, so we're going to make that 1, because that's the easiest number to work with, which means this side is 1 over tan 30, right? If we do trig, 1 over tan 30 equaled 1.73 blah, right? Which made this side the square root of 1 squared plus 1 over tan 30 squared, which was 1 plus that happened to be 3. If that squared is 3 and that squared is 1.73 blah, 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 that means this squared must be 3, which means 1.73 must be the square root of 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 1, 2, root 3. Cool? Now, I take that triangle and spin it any way I need to, and I get these values. Because there's the 30. So across from the 30 is 1. Since it went downwards, it's negative 1. Across from the 60 is the root 3. Since it went left, it's root 3. The hypotenuse is always positive because when you square a negative, you get a positive. So this one, where's 150? Second quadrant. Where's the reference angle? 30, where it always is. That makes this 60. What does that make this across from 30? 1. Is it positive or negative?
Negative. The 1 is positive, but the root 3 is negative.
What is this one?
Root 3, negative.
Root 3, and it is?
Negative.
Negative. Why?
Because it's
Because it goes left. What is this?
2.
2. Why is it positive? Because the hypotenuse is always positive. Why? When you square a negative, you get a positive. What is the tan of 150?
1 over negative root 3.
1 over negative root 3. And 315 comes down here. 45. So what does that make this? 45. What does that make this? Negative 1 because it is on going downwards. What does that make this? Positive 1. What does that make this? Root 2. What is the sine of 315?
Negative 1 over 2.
Negative 1 over root 2. Is everybody good? Great. Now, go the other way. Find possible values of theta. Why is there an S on the end of value? Because there's Damaris? Right. Since cos is negative, how many possibilities are there? 2. Where do they live? Quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. Since it's cos root 3 over 2, is that cos 60 or cos 30? Look back at your work. You've got one right here. 30 was root 3 over 2. So what does that make this? What does that make the reference angle here? 30. If the reference angle is 30 and I am in quadrant 2 or 3, where must my lines go? Up there or down there? Where's the 30? In the reference angle spots, yes? So what are my 2 options? What is the theta that is in quadrant 2? And tell me the math you will do to find it, because apparently we need to be doing that. What is this blue theta? How did you find that?
180
Minus 30 to get 150. What are you going to do for the pink one? 180 plus 30 to get what? 210. Is everybody cool? Great. Do the same thing with B. Where are my quadrants? Where is this allowed to happen? A positive sign.
Only in the
Quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. What is the reference angle? Automatically.
45.
Reference angle has to be 45. So the one in quadrant 1 is easy, right? Why?
Because it's 45.
Right. Reference angle equals quadrant 1. So it's 45. What's the reference angle in quadrant 2? How do I find it?
180 minus 45.
180 minus reference. 180 minus 45. So it is 135. Please notice I didn't draw it a second time. Why didn't I draw it a second time? Because I see this in my head. Should you not draw it?
No.
Only if you can see it in your head. How many of you feel comfortable seeing this in your head? So how many? One of you. So how many drawings should I see for this question if I walk up and down the rows? I'd better see 29, shouldn't I? Go. I have the answer in my head. I have no drawings. When you are ready, somebody volunteer me the 2 answers. In a second, obviously, I will draw them. But I want to see where I can get without a drawing, or without me doing it for you. Anybody got something for me? Ayaka.
150 degrees and 330.
150 and 330 is exactly right. Now, if you don't know how that happened, you need to watch very closely and listen right now. This is how it works. That's a crappy coordinate grid. Tan is negative. Where must it be? has to be here and here, yes? It's got a root 3 in it. Must be a 30, 60, 90, yes? Since it's tan, does the hypotenuse matter? No. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So root 3 over 1, correct? So what is opposite? It is 60. What is opposite? 1. What'd you do wrong? Yeah. What'd you do wrong? Where does the 1 need to go?
The opposite.
The opposite needs to be the 1, yes?
Yeah.
So there's my negative 1, positive 1. What does that make this?
2.
Root 3. Now that's what you did, Ayaka. What does the opposite need to be? Why, Damaris? Tan is opposite over adjacent. So what must this be? Can't be negative. Root 3. What does that make this one then? The negative 1. What does that make this one? Negative root 3. And what does that make this one? Positive 1. Which means when I look at my triangle, this must be the 60. Right? Which makes this what? 120 and 300. Okay? Now, please notice that if you feel you can do it without drawing, there's a pretty decent chance you're going to make a mistake right now. But when you draw it, is it possible?
Yes.
It's possible to make a mistake. It's a lot harder because you can see the triangle. Okay? Now, was there anything new today?
No.
It's trig, right? It's trig you can do without even using a calculator because you automatically know all the answers. Yes? So, I am a little bit worried because it is first block and people seem to be having some issues with this. So I am not going to have this be an assignment. But what I am going to do is I am going to be giving a quiz tomorrow. I am going to make that quiz your assignment. Normally quizzes don't count, but I'm going to put it in the assignment bin because this should have been an assignment because I should have had 29 people going root 3 over 1 because it's the same trig you did in grade 10. So, this is practice. You work on it now. We'll go over the real answers in a few moments. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you a quiz that is actually an assignment and is actually going to count for marks. All right? All right. Now, tomorrow's block is right after lunch. You should be plenty bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Go down to 7-Eleven and get yourself a Red Bull. It gives you wings, I hear. Don't really. Energy drinks are evil. They are the worst thing you can put in your body that is legal. Don't do it. But you all do anyway. So, be awake, be ready tomorrow after lunch. Okay? Go on this now. You'll see the right answers around 9:15, which is half an hour from now. Everything I just said.
Theta is 315.
Quadrant 4 is down here. 1 and root 2, that means it's 1, 1, negative 1, root 2. So theta is what? 315. Cos theta is 1 over root 2 positive, and tan theta is
Negative 1.
-1. Quadrant 3 is down here. Tan is root 3, so root 3 had to be here, -1. This had to be 2, which makes this 60. What's theta? 240. What's sine theta? Negative. Root 3 over 2. What's tan theta? Oh, cos theta. Sorry, we already have tan theta. What's cos theta? -1 over 2. That's a 45, right?
Yes.
So it's 1 over root 2. That's a 30, right? So it's... That's a
that one.
30.
Yes.
So it's
Negative root 3 over 2.
negative root 3 over 2. That's a 60, yeah?
Yes.
So what is it?
1 over 2.
1 over 2. And that's a 30, so it's
Negative 1 over 2.
-1 over root 2.
Root 2.
Back up to E, 120. That is a 60. What?
Did you say -1 over root 2 for B?
Oh, no. Sorry. 2. This is a 60, so it's
Negative 3. Root 3.
negative
Root
root 3. 210 is a
3.
30, so it's
1 over root 3. But
1
negative
over
root 3.
root 3. Is it?
Yeah, because it's negative.
Because they're both negative. Good. 225 is a 45, so it's
Negative 1 over root 2.
-1 over root 2. And 150 is a 30, so it's
1 over root 3.
1
negative.
over root
Negative.
3, and it's negative. All right, is everybody good? Excellent. Now, tomorrow we will be going over your cumulative. We will be writing a quiz that's an assignment on this stuff. This stuff. Because this should have been an assignment. Okay? Okay. Now, something is happening on Thursday? Pep rally.
That's tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
Shut up your face. Really?
Yes. No, before lunch.
Before lunch, so it doesn't matter.
Because, see, on this calendar it says it's on Thursday.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to love it, Lucas. We all go into the gym and scream.
You said that to me too last time when I asked.
It's something American schools do that we have borrowed.
What?
No. Yeah, you'll have shorter day.